Welcome to Fazza Poetry World, where hearts turn into poetry. Stay for a moment, don't rush this. Don't let your eyes move too fast across these words, because what I am about to say is not something I have ever said this way before. This is not just a message. This is not just emotion. This is everything I have been holding inside, finally finding its way out. And once it comes out, it doesn't go back in. So read slowly. Feel every word. Because this is the real me. There was always something heavy inside my chest, something quiet, but constant, like a truth knocking from the inside, asking to be heard, begging to be seen. But I ignored it. I smiled when I should have spoken. I stayed silent when I should have been honest. I showed you pieces of me, but never the whole. And the worst part, you trusted those pieces. Like they were complete. That trust, it didn't feel light. It felt heavy in my hands. Because deep down, I knew something you didn't. You were loving a version of me that I carefully built, not the one that truly existed. I wish I could say I didn't mean to do it. I wish I could say it just happened. But the truth is, I was afraid. Afraid of losing something. Before it even fully began. So I chose silence. Not because I didn't care, but because I cared too much. And sometimes, caring in fear turns into hiding. The first truth I hid from you was something simple, but not small. My age. Not just a number, but a distance I was scared you might feel. I told you something different. Something safer. Something that felt easier to accept. And every time you believed it, I smiled on the outside, but inside, something in me broke quietly. Because I wasn't just hiding a number. I was hiding a part of my reality. And the more you trusted me, the more guilty I felt. But age was just the beginning. The deeper truth I hid who I really am. Not completely, but enough to change how you saw me. I showed you strength, even on days I felt lost. I showed you confidence, even when I doubted every step. I spoke like someone who had life figured out, while inside, I was still searching for answers. Because I thought, maybe that's what you needed. Someone stable. Someone sure. Someone complete. Not someone like me, still learning, still falling, still questioning everything. So I became a version that looked right. Not fake, but not fully true either. And maybe you never noticed. Or maybe you did, but chose to trust me anyway. That's what hurts the most. You trusted me. Without hesitation. And I gave you honesty. In parts. Do you know what that does to a person carrying truth, but choosing silence? It doesn't disappear. It sits there, in every conversation, in every laugh, in every I care about you. It makes even happy moments Feel slightly incomplete. Like smiling. With something heavy in your heart. And I was tired. Not of you. Never you. I was tired of hiding. Tired of pretending that everything was fully okay. When something inside me was constantly whispering, tell the truth. Then came that moment. A simple moment. Simple words. But they changed everything. You said something so full of trust, so pure, so real, that it shook me. Because in that moment, I saw clearly. You were giving me something real, while I was still holding something back. And that's when I realized, I had two choices. Keep going like this. Smiling, hiding, pretending, or finally stop, and be honest. Completely. And honesty is terrifying. Because it doesn't just reveal truth. It risks everything. How you see me. How you feel about me. Whether you stay, or walk away. But I chose it. Not because it was easy, but because you mattered too much for me to keep lying. So here I am. Not the perfect version. Not the confident image. Just me. Imperfect. Unsure sometimes. Still learning life one step at a time. Still carrying fears. Still healing from things I never showed you. And yes, I am scared. Scared of what you're thinking right now. Scared of how these words might change things. Scared that maybe, the truth will create the distance I was trying to avoid from the beginning. But there's one thing I need you to understand clearly. My feelings for you, they were never fake. Not even for a second. Even when I was hiding parts of myself, my heart was never lying. I thought about you, more than I could explain. I cared about you. In ways that were real, deep, and honest. That's the strange part, isn't it, how someone can hide truth, yet still feel something so real? Because what I felt was never built on lies. It came from my heart. From the real me. The same me. Who is standing here now, without filters, without walls. I don't want to build anything on half-truths anymore. I don't want to keep smiling while hiding something underneath. I don't want love if it's not honest. So this is me, not perfect, not complete, but real. Take your time. Don't rush your thoughts. Don't force an answer. Just see me. The real me. And then decide. From truth, not illusion. Because no matter what you choose, at least now, you finally know who I truly am. And if you're still here, still reading, still holding these words in your hands instead of letting them fall, then maybe, just maybe, there's still something between us worth saving. Because the truth is, this wasn't easy for me. You might read this in a few minutes, but I lived this for days, weeks, maybe even longer than I can admit. Every sentence you're reading was once stuck in my chest. Every truth I'm telling now was once something I was too afraid to say out loud. There were nights when everything felt quiet on the outside, but inside me, it was loud. Too loud. My thoughts wouldn't stop. My heart wouldn't settle. I would replay our conversations, again and again, thinking, should I have told the truth there? Was that the moment I should have stopped hiding? But I didn't. And that didn't, slowly turned into regret. Do you know what regret feels like? It's not always pain. Sometimes, it's silence. A silence that sits with you, even when everything around you is okay. A silence that reminds you, you could have been more honest, but you weren't. And the hardest part, you never forced me to hide. You never gave me a reason to be afraid of the truth. That fear, it was mine. Built from my past. From my insecurities. From the belief that being fully seen might lead to being left. I've always had this fear, not being enough. Or maybe, being too different. Like, what if someone looks at the real me and decides, this isn't what I want? So I learned to adjust. To shape myself into something easier to accept. Not completely fake, but carefully edited. Like showing only the best chapters of a story, and hiding the messy ones in between. But you didn't come into my life to read half a story. You deserved the whole book. Even the parts where the pages are torn, where the ink is messy, where the words don't make sense at first. And I realize that now. Too late maybe. But still honest. There's something else I need to say, not just about what I hid, but why I kept going. Why I stayed. Why I didn't walk away. Even when I knew I wasn't being fully truthful. It's because of you. The way you spoke to me, the way you understood things without me explaining, the way your presence felt, it wasn't normal. It wasn't something I could just leave behind. You became a place. Not a person I talked to, but a feeling I returned to. And that's rare. Too rare to risk losing. But in trying not to lose you, I almost lost something else. My honesty. And without honesty, even the strongest feelings start to weaken. I started noticing it, not in you, but in me. Moments where I hesitated before replying. Moments where I thought too much about what version of me I should show. And that's not how something real should feel. Real connection doesn't need calculation. It doesn't need editing. It doesn't need fear sitting in the background of every word. And that's when I understood something clearly. I wasn't protecting what we had, I was slowly damaging it, because hiding doesn't save love. It slowly suffocates it. Quietly. Without noise. Without warning. And I didn't want that. Not with you. So here I am again, not adding anything new. Just standing firmer in the truth I already told you. Yes. I was afraid of my age being a gap. But the truth is, it wasn't just about years. It was about where we stand in life. What we've seen. What we've been through. I thought maybe, you were in a lighter place, and I might bring weight you didn't ask for. Because I've lived things, not everything beautiful. Not everything easy. I've made mistakes I'm not proud of. I've faced moments that changed me. I've carried lessons that weren't gentle. And I didn't know if you would understand that version of me. Or if it would feel like too much. So I hid it. Not because I wanted to lie. But because I didn't know if I would still be accepted after the truth. But now I understand something deeper. If I'm not accepted for who I truly am, then what was being accepted was never really me. And I don't want that anymore. I don't want to be liked for a version I created. I want to be seen, fully, and still chosen. But that choice, it's yours now. Not based on illusion. Not based on half-truths. But on everything I placed in front of you. And whatever you feel after this, I will respect it. Even if it hurts. Even if it's not what I hope for. Because truth means accepting outcomes too. Not just expressing feelings. Still, if there's even a small part of you that can look at me now, not as the person who hid things, but as the person who finally told the truth, then maybe, we still have something real to hold onto. Not perfect. Not flawless. But real. And sometimes, real is all that truly matters.